Perfect. A very good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending upon your time zone. You have joined us today in this first ever event under IEngage of our newly created track under IEEE YESIST12-2022. We are presenting today Upskilling for Industry Readiness. That's the main objective of IEngage track, which we will be explaining in the upcoming slides. I would like to welcome on behalf of whole IEEE YESIST12 team and IEngage track to all our guest speaker, chief guest of today's inauguration ceremony, Dr. Louis Kuhn, sir, the president-elect of 2022 IEEE SSIT, and Abhishek Bhattacharya, who will be speaking tomorrow on the blockchain career development. Then we have Dr. Sriram, who will be talking after this inauguration ceremony at 7 p.m. IST to 8 p.m. IST about how you can get yourself ready for your ahead journey, career journey, and bridge the gap between the career as well as the industry. Then we will have a wonderful panel discussion on iEngage tomorrow evening, 7:30 to 9 o'clock evening IST. We have Subodh from Cisco R&D. We have Sudhendra Kaushik, who is the VP at the conferences of IEEE TAMS and member of BOG in IEEE Entrepreneurship. We have Meppan Srinivasan, who is the Analytics Portfolio Manager at Bosch India. I really welcome wholeheartedly to you, sir, Louis, sir, and to all the guests for the upcoming days and all the participants who have registered us and proactively gonna be participating and networking with all of us. So now I would like to hand over the mic to Naveen, sir, Professor Naveen, who is one of our member of iEngage track, for taking over and explaining you about IEEE YESIST12. Naveen, sir, over to you.
Thank you so much, Ramnik. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depends upon your time zone. And thank you so much, Ramnik, to inviting me to brief about this YESIST12 event. The YESIST12 was started in the year 2013 in the name as YESIST12 in partnership with Project Possibilities, not-for-profit organization from United States. So they wanted to, this was actually a codeathon where, the students and young professionals took part in it to solve some of the programming problems on Saturday and Sunday 12 hours. So which will usually happen in the month of September. So they wanted they wanted to take that YESIST12 to Asia Pacific regions, and they approached the Dr. Ramlatha Marimuthu, senior IEEE member and a global leader, and we engaged in this YESIST12, and we changed the dynamics of the event as a hackathon, which was trending at those times. So in 2013, we started here in Asia Pacific region with the participation of only 3 countries, and as year goes on, the number of countries and number of tracks got increased. So we have got a response and a partnership proposals from many organizations which are similar in interest. Like we partnered with World Bank and Rotary International and many other IEEE organizational units, starting from the section chapters and other global committees as well. So we gradually increase the pace of the event, and the event starts spreading in different IEEE regions. So in 2018, in 2017 event, we had a participant from school, who's 16 years of age. We didn't have any track exclusively for the school going students, and we had one participant. He was showing great enthusiasm in participating the event, and we thought of having a dedicated track for school students in the age group of 12 to 17. So there we initiated a track called the Junior Einstein track, and to encourage and motivate the micro innovators who are doing innovations in college level and young professional level. To motivate them, we started the Maker Fair track, and with the partnership of World Bank to improve and increase the diversity and inclusion of women in energy, power and energy sector, we introduced the Women in Power track, which is We Power track. And we were getting a request from the participants from some of the countries where they feel very difficult to get the visas to the countries where the final is happening. For them, we have introduced the virtual track, and since in the lockdown past 2 years, the event itself is going virtual, so we converted that as a special track with the theme of COVID-19 and disaster management related projects. And this year, as to bridge the gap between industry and academia, and to engage the industries on various activities in skilling up the students and making them industry ready, we introduced IEngage track under the leadership of Ramnik. With the great support of volunteers and the previous year participants, we call them as IEEE YESIST12 alumni. The event, is reaching greater heights, and I'm personally proud to be a part of this event, and I appreciate all the participants for getting engaged yourself enthusiastically in different activities. And also, I would like to thank all the invitees and guests for this, first ever event under this IEngage track. I wish you all a great time in the upcoming past 2 years, various activities. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Professor Naveen. It was really great to know about IEEE SSL, and I believe it's the same for all the participants who are here, who are unknown to IEEE SS12, and putting a, I would say, a cup of cake onto the IEEE SS12. I would like to give a single brief about IEEE. As you know, if you are non-IEEE member, it's a great opportunity for you all to join us today itself through ieee.org/join. And IEEE is the largest professional organization. As a young professional, as a last 6 years of membership in IEEE, I have got lot of great benefits and opportunities to upskill myself, from a professional level as well from personal level. Even if you take it public speaking, even if you take volunteering and other things. Everyone asks me what is the benefits of IEEE. I simply summarize in 3 words. That is participation, volunteering, and networking. I commonly say it as a PVN model of IEEE. So that's one of the thing. Coming to iEngage, as you got to know about YESIST12. So iEngage is our newly created track this year. And I have that honor to chair this with Rushali and other members of the team. iEngage is specifically related to industry engagement. We will be doing 3 events all over 2022. First event, that is today we are starting till tomorrow. And the second event we will be doing before the finals of ESS12 to motivate the participants who have participated in other tracks how to convert an idea to a product or a prototype, just so that they can showcase in this global platform. And the third event we will be doing after the finals, if some participant or some teams are interested to get the support of incubators from our partners. Without wasting much time, now I would like to invite our beloved guest of today's inauguration ceremony, Luis Kunzer. He's currently the President-elect 2022 for IEEE Society on Social Implication of Technology. I've been a great honor to become the part of IEEE SSIT last year through Universal Access to Technology. That's one of the technical committee under the leadership of Dr. Bojana Pasik Duncan ma'am. She is also our advisor to IEEE as well. So without wasting much time, over to you, sir. Yeah, Luis, sir, over to you. I guess now you can share your screen.
Yeah, you need to stop the video so that I can share my screen.
Uh, it's
Okay.
fine, sir. I guess you
Yeah.
can, yeah, you can now share. Yeah. Okay.
Now it's okay. All right. Good morning, afternoon, evening to everyone. My name is Luis Kuhn. For those that don't know me, I'm a biomedical engineer that works at the intersection of healthcare with public health, IT, and national security. Um, I decided to give you a very different type of presentation so you can see complexities on one hand, but how your job uh, can connect obviously with the academic side. And I'm talking about jobs that could be in industry or in government um, or in academia, but also with the volunteering and with academic appointments. So my journey, you can see on the top left. That's when I got my degrees at UCLA, and immediately I started working for IBM. Later, Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, then the Agency for Healthcare Policy Research, the CDC in Atlanta, then NDU, National Defense University, and the Center for Hemispheric Defense Studies in Washington. Now, the reason I use a timeline is because it's very confusing, but on one hand, uh, I, I can show you an example here. While I was at IBM, I worked in Dallas with the University of Texas at West Medical Center, with Parkland Hospital and Baylor. Um, in Baylor, I met a professor that he was trying to detect cancer with magnetic resonance, but he had a new computer from IBM called RIS-6000, but had no software. I remember seeing somebody in Palo Alto that used certain algorithms that were developed to process images from a satellite. So I spoke with the people there, we provided that. And then 10 years later, this man got recognized as a scientist of the year because with that software, he was able to detect cancer in women, et cetera, et cetera. So my point here is that I tried to connect the intellectual part of the needs of a customer in this case, and in the areas that I had expertise with scientific centers that were working in a complete different area, but yet the solution came from those same tools. So going back to this chart here, you can see here in the middle, around 86, I moved from Texas to Maryland, and basically certain things happen. Um, uh, I I became the technical managers of a point of care system to be developed for nurses with Hill-Rom, which is a company that develops beds. Uh, Now, I was ignorant about the nursing process, but if you think about it, 90% of the time when you're in a hospital, it's not the physician that cares of you, it's the nurse. And if you are developing a product that is going to be used by nurses, you better understand how they use it, what they do. I did not know, but I learned so much that from there on, I included them in every single project that I approached. So what you will see here as I keep moving through the slides is that the more places that I work, I became focused on a very holistic picture that incorporated multidisciplines and interdisciplines. And it's almost like I knew 10% of the problem, but the other 90% came from these other specialties. When I went to work for the CDC in Atlanta, suddenly I had to deal with public health, which is to a certain degree a little bit different than healthcare. And as you can see right now with our COVID crisis. So when I moved in 86 with IBM to Gettysburg, these two gentlemen, Dr. Potvin and Rosino, which were past presidents of the IEEE Engineering, Medicine, and Biology Society, suggested me to become a member of the IEEE USA Healthcare Engineering Policy Committee. And I said, I'm not interested in policy. I know nothing about policy. But they kept talking to me, and they saw certain things that I, as a young fellow, did not know. Well, to make the story short, once I got involved with them, I never got out because I found it fantastically stimulating, that job. So I became like the founding chair of all these committees, electronic health record and high performance computers and communications, the bioterrorism working group that later became also the bioterrorism and homeland security working group. I also helped create the genomics and bioinformatics in the medical technology policy committee. And because of all these backgrounds that I was bringing, I ended up creating a very separate committee called Critical Infrastructure Protection Committee. I taught critical infrastructure protection at my job at the National Defense University, but I got a lot of input from the members of that committee. So my point is that I was able, through my volunteering work, bring things to my job, and from my job, bring things to my volunteering work, which worked really nice. One of the members played a big role in my career because this was Mike Fitzmaurice. One day I get a call. I was finishing my work with Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, and Mike called me, and he had become the director of the Center for Information Technology at the Agency for Healthcare Policy and Research. And what happened is that years before, Senator Gore, he kept talking about the highways of information and the use of high-performance computers and communications. Mike said to me, "Listen, Luis, I heard you talk in our volunteer committee, and you understand computers. I'm an economist. So how would you like to come and work with us?" So I ended up going there because the agency got funded, and suddenly there were all these opportunities. And so under the White House, there was this committee on computing, information, and communications subcommittee. But this used to be called high performance computers and communications before. And you can see it up here on the right. It says high performance computing and communications, information technology, and the next generation internet. And these were three books that were produced in 97, 98, 99. These were basically presented to the Congress by the President of the United States. And the areas that you see, the first three, I wrote them: the computer-based patient records, the clinical decision support systems, and telehealth. And but I also work with the next generation internet. And basically, this is a second thing that I did that was completely different from the past. Those that make decisions in democracies tend to be members from Congress. these are individuals, in the majority, they are lawyers. They're people that have no background on science and technology. So I thought it might be nice to inform them and educate them about technical stuff and scientific stuff. But in order to do that and attract them, in every one of these issues, I brought senators from both parties, so this would not become a fight from the left, the right, or the middle, but rather allow them to make comments. And then for the first time ever, IEEE distributed this to the members of Congress. So I thought this was a very innovative and different way of doing things. And this is an example. That last issue had Susan Collins, who was or is a senator, Republican from Maine, Sheldon Whitehouse, a Democrat from Rhode Island, and then a couple of people that work from the administration in terms of information technology. There were multiple position statements that were created by that working group at IEEE USA. And I kept thinking, well, but this is not a US-centric issue. It is an issue for every part of IEEE or the world. Because, for example, if you have a computer, no matter where you live, you're going to have issues of privacy and security. So you cannot limit legislation or recommendations just for one country. You need to see globally what that does. Of course, you have everywhere in the world natural hazards, hurricanes, tsunamis, earthquakes, tornadoes, volcanoes. You also have technical and accidental hazards from a nuclear power plant to some train perhaps carrying chemicals. But also you have terrorist hazards. But in all cases, regardless if it's a terrorist hazard, a accidental or a natural hazard, you're going to have same type of responders. And in some cases, like in Fukushima, it started with an earthquake, it was followed by a tsunami, and then you had the explosion of the nuclear reactor. And this is the reality of today. No matter what field you get involved, regardless if it's banking, healthcare, oil, transportation, you have two big columns, one called electricity, the other one called telecommunications. And all these infrastructures are interrelated, they're interdependent. If one goes down, there's like a domino effect and they will all go down. So it's very, very important to be aware constantly about different types of threats. Of course, you also have deterioration that comes with the years, but there's also innovation. So new ways of doing things become more efficient and so on. But I wanted to show you also an example here of how complex things are when you are trying to monitor issues that could become very difficult to deal with. So sometimes there is an incident, somebody might call 911, and then the local emergency or operations center contacts some incident command place and multiple jurisdictions, and you have perhaps an emergency operations center. In some cases, it might go all the way to the White House, and there are technologies associated with that that allow you to do vulnerability analysis, threat assessment, surveillance, intelligence, send information for emergency planning, consequence management, training and exercises. And of course, you need to deal with many things so things are coherent, that they work together, that they are interoperable. And how do you restore things to normal? And in order to do all of this, you have a huge amount of technologies, which it's impossible for you to be an expert on everything. So obviously you need to form teams that understand these different pieces, and then being able to create an integration among all of them, so this becomes operable and without any lose the ends. And that's part of the complexity. It's very, very difficult. You cannot depend on one vendor. You need to depend on many things. And this is the reality of industry. How do you do this on a wise form? And so now I want you to open your minds and think about the Renaissance. This is a time period that in Florence, there was a very rich family called Medici, and they brought together all types of people that were fantastic sculptors, painters, all types of artists, philosophers, technologists like Leonardo da Vinci and so on. And that confluence, that sharing of the space is the secret of what is being called the Medici effect. You have a convergence of science with people, cross cultures that bring very different ways of looking and appreciating things. You have the leap of computation that also has converged here, the leap in telecommunications, and there are many motives for all of this. NASA and everything on the space program. Some people tend to think only on Mars, the moon, the space station. But if you think about all the things from smaller pacemakers to the images that we see, the phones that we have, the sizes of these things, the recycling of water, that started up there. Telemedicine that now, because of COVID, is being used widely, that started because they needed a way of following up the astronauts. So at the time, we might not see all the values of these things, but exploring and opening new doors brings all this stuff. And if you're aware, this is just a little bit of what happened with Darwin. He traveled, he collected birds, he gave it to a friend of his in England, John Wood, who was a zoologist. And basically, Darwin was saying it's the same bird that developed different parts because in some places you only had rocks, in others you had grass. So in order to survive, they had to do that. But that was impossible for a zoologist to accept because we all have blinders. And that's the richness that multidisciplines bring into the picture. Some others from a different profession might ask a question that they're not afraid to ask, because in the eyes of the others, they might be ignorant, but actually they bring a lot of wisdom. And so that's something to think about when you start working. In 2009, I created this conference with a colleague of mine, Robert Matthews. You can find a lot of information about this on the internet. But it was June 1st and 2nd of 2009. President Obama was going to create this healthcare reform. And the question was, reform is necessary, but might not be sufficient, because as we kept growing in numbers and living longer, because thanks to science, we start becoming more and more expensive because the parts needed to be replaced or fixed. So by the end of your life, basically the last year of your life, you are that would become the most expensive year in your whole life. So how do we do that? Well, prevention is one of the ways. And so I brought in 23 different agencies from the federal government, and I brought 30 different professional organizations. 10 of them were part of IEEE, so that each one could look through their eyes. And basically, concluding, I just want you to see, because this is the current global risk network. This is from the Global Economic Forum, the World Economic Forum does a report every year, and they talk about all these things from infectious diseases like we have right now, to climate action, I'm sorry, biodiversity, social cohesion, and you cannot look at just one issue. You have to look at multiples at the same time. Basically, with COVID, we have problems of education, we have problems of work, we have problems of okay, let me stop the sharing. All right. So in so many words, the situation right now is one where we are doing telework, we're doing distance learning, we're doing telemedicine, we're doing our purchases through internet, and it's very important to be able okay. It's extremely important to understand that the root of the problem is not the economics, the jobs, the education, although there is a crisis on all of them. There is also a crisis in healthcare, because if the hospitals are overwhelmed by this public health problem, then people with cancer, with heart disease cannot be treated. So it does affect all the other fields, but the root cause is public health. And the person that needs to have the strategy on how to deal has to be somebody from public health and not the others. And this is part of the problem that we are seeing in many countries, where suddenly either an economist or an education specialist is trying to ride this problem, and that's an impossibility, because the root is still public health. Anyway, I'll stop here, and I'll be ready for any questions or on what I talk or any other topic.
Perfect. Thank you so much, sir. It's a great honor to be with you today, virtually sharing the stage. And I believe everyone enjoyed the talk. Everyone enjoyed the address about what you mentioned. And yeah, please, now the floor is open. Please feel free to interact with Luis, sir. It's a great opportunity for all of you. Just drop a text message, your questions in the chat window, or if you want to speak with him, we will unmute yourself. Yeah, unmute you.
Hi, Ramanasa.
Yeah, she joined.
Yeah. You're mute. I cannot hear you.
Didn't want to interrupt you. I joined 3 minutes late, so I didn't want to interrupt you. So it was a great thing to have you here. Thank you so much, Luis, for accepting my invitation. The first time I called you, you accepted. The second time I called you, you accepted. Great. Such a wonderful volunteer.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah, as you know, I'm always willing to help. And I think we all enrich ourselves by cooperating, and I learn things from the rest of you. even the students that might feel little have always something to offer. So I think they should be encouraged to speak, to ask questions, and to get involved. This is the time that we are suffering some issues, for example, on climate change. I think it's very important not just to get the older individuals from IEEE involved, but the youngsters that are coming out of high school. They should get involved and go straight to places like SSIT, where we are concerned about the social implications of technology. And as you know, we are currently having some big issues. 60% of the world population does not have internet. Even in the US, that some might consider the country with the best technologies, etc. There are parts of the country that 22 to 62% of the people do not have a computer. So when you have COVID, how are you supposed to do telework, teleeducation, telemedicine, or even buy things through internet if you don't have that? These are things that need to be thought, and it involves all of us. It's not just security and privacy, which are very, very important, but
we should learn to count our blessings, because we have had so many blessings and most of them we take for granted. But I think this is where we understand when the other people don't have something, we have it. We should be able to at least share the knowledge and help them and support them in whatever way we can. So I think that's a wonderful concept. Thank you.
And by the way, for the rest of the audience that don't know me, I was born in Montevideo in Uruguay, South America, and that's where I'm transmitting right now. Thanks to technology, it doesn't really matter where we are. This is summer here. So I'm enjoying getting out of 11 degrees centigrade below zero in Washington and being here. But again, I'm very glad to be with this young group, and if I can be of help, just let me know.
Sure. Sir, we have one question in the QA section, and we have from Shelly Gupta. She is one of our one of the partners of IEngage, Straight Ahead. So she asked, like, what do you think, what is the major gap undergrad student or normally student, postgrad and undergrad who want to shift into industry, the gap between the university and the industry? What kind of gap do you think and it can be covered?
Well, one of the problems, to be honest, I have no idea the current situation, and I'm talking about work, because one thing is if you, while you're going to school, you're able to do some part-time job on something that you really enjoy, and then that same company might hire you, then the change is very subtle. But if you never worked and in that field, I mean, we all at some point did some job that had nothing to do with our career, just to pay the bills. But if you have no experience, and this is a very key thing for those that are still in school, I would give the following advice. Forget the money, because nobody, when you go to find a job, nobody's going to ask you how much money were you making. They want to know, what do you know? What do you bring? What experience did you have? And so imagine if you had two individuals that are both brilliant, have all A's, but one of them sent a letter to the chairman of the board of Boeing and said, sir, can I be your shadow for 1 month? I don't care about money. What I want is to be there. And then this individual puts in his resume, his or her resume, I worked with the chairman of the board of Boeing. The impact of that is phenomenal. So it has nothing to do with money. People put too much emphasis on money. And what I'm saying is experience is what will bring you to places. And if you can do it with a team of different professions, even better, because they're going to see that you understand the value of multidisciplines and interdisciplines. In my way of thinking, every problem, it doesn't matter what type, every problem, doesn't matter if it's social, if it's political, unless you have a team of people with multidisciplines and interdisciplines, you're not going to solve it. And I'll give you two very quick examples. After the earthquake in Haiti, there were lots of cholera. And every time there was, one of these problems, they will send physicians, medications, nurses, and open more beds. And I kept saying, cholera is the symptom. The disease is that they don't have, clean water infrastructure sustainability. And the only one that can fix it is a civil engineer that understands pipes. Okay, so it has nothing to do with the doctors, because that's all operational. You're trying to control, but you're not fixing the problem. And strategically, you need to bring those engineers. The second example is in places like Uruguay, Argentina, Brazil. The number one product of export is cattle. But there is a disease called aftosa. And if any of the cattle gets aftosa, all the borders are closed. Suddenly, this is a financial crisis, because that's the number one element that brings money to the country. So it's a national security. But the armed forces cannot fix it. The police cannot fix it. The only one that can fix it is a veterinary that understands the animal. And this is my type of thinking. You really need to understand what is the root of the problem. And if you start early in your career thinking like that, holistically, and form teams, you're going to be very successful, as far as I know. I change jobs, like everybody will in this generation, and I never took a single course on national security at UCLA, and yet I became a professor of national security. But I integrated a lot of the things that I learned from public health, from healthcare, from every other, from IT. And so always keep taking courses, educate yourself, be around people that know more than you, because they will transmit things to you, and you, believe it or not, are going to be able to give them things that they need as well. This is, you scratch my back, I scratch your back. I truly believe that life is a series of mirrors. The more love you give, the more you receive. The more help you give, the more you receive. And that's my answer to that question.
Oh, that's really a wonderful reply back to that question, sir. Thank you so much for that particular statement, which will be heartened to me. I believe all the participants will take away from that. If you want love, just spread it. If you want impact, just create it on your own. Thank you so much for sharing that takeaway. So with that, I would like to invite our founding chair of IEEE YESIST12, Dr. Ramlata Marimuthu ma'am, for presenting you a virtual memento. I really wish that once we were in person, I would give this by hand to you, but ma'am, over to you.
Okay. Oh, wow. Very nice. I hope one of these days I have the opportunity to give a talk in person in India. And
Yes, thank you so much, Luis. I also wish, like Ramnik, I can be presenting this to you in person. And as you said, hope you will be in India soon. We would be waiting with a floral bouquet and also your physical memento to invite you here. Thank you so much for inspiring our audience today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all. And best of luck to all the students. And I wish you good health and happiness and enjoy your lives.
Thank you so much, sir. Before going out, and before ending this ceremony, I would like to invite every one of you for a group pic. Please,
Yes.
everyone, feel free to come on camera. It's like more than, I guess, it's gonna be 2 years now, and we haven't seen the faces yet, the human faces on this virtual platform so often. So we are fed up to see the profile names and the pics of the profile pics. So please open up your camera and join us in this historical IEngage group pic. Yeah, I can see few coming up. Let's wait for 1 minute more. Okay, nice to see. Do we have any more? Come on, it's totally fine. We don't judge by your background. It's totally fine. We know all lockdown is going on. Everyone is working and studying from home. So feel free to open up your camera.
Yeah, we don't bite.
Yeah. Perfect. I can see a couple of people coming up. So let's have a great smile on our face, and then on the count of 3, 2, 1, I will take it up. Okay, there we go. On the count of 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much, Luis sir, for your acceptance and joining us in this inauguration ceremony. It's a great honor for YESIST12 team to host you, to welcome you, and get insights and get blessings from your presence and your insightful keynote address. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you again and good luck. Bye,
Thank you.
Ramalata.
Please take care.
Bye-bye.
Okay, with that, let's start with the agenda to our next first keynote address. Before that, we have one thing to say to our, I guess my screen is coming up. Yes. So I would like to invite Dr. Ramalata ma'am once again for thanking our partners from whom this IEngage track was possible, from whom the publicity and social media exposure to all these participants were being done. Ma'am, over to you.
Thank you, Ramnik. In fact, I would like to start with a welcome note to our partners, since this is the first engagement program that we have planned for IEngage. So IEngage track, as Ramnik was explaining before, has been introduced this year only. Though we planned everything last year, we did not launch it. So this year we have launched it with the idea that this should be a training platform as well as a discussing platform for the students, young professionals, and those who are aspiring to innovate, to come up with standardized ideas, because industry standards are some things that usually we miss when we innovate something. We think of an idea, we work for it, we try to find the solution, but in the solution, we never think about what kind of standards are to be used if this gadget is going to be publicized and also commercialized. And though some of the things might not matter when it becomes a medical device or something, it really matters. So we thought that the students who are working for IEEE YESIST12, bringing up their innovative ideas into a product, they should at least be aware of how the standards are to be incorporated in their innovations and how they are to be aware of what kind of policies are being governed in each of the countries when their product is going to be marketed. So this is the first start, I would say, though IEEE Standards Association has been making a lot of inroads into bringing this awareness into the students. We don't find much in India. So we wanted to have all our industry partners here to give them an idea on not only on the project, but also on how to find a job, where to find a job, and when they go into a job, what they can expect from the industry, corporate environment. So all these are basic questions that usually the students ask, and many of them don't get the answers. So we thought that this first engagement program will be open forum for everyone to come out with their doubts, however basic it is, and get the answers immediately. So I would like to thank all the speakers, and also the speakers are representing the firms that we are partnering with. I'm so happy about it. So I would like to thank our partners for sparing their knowledge through these speakers. Thank you so much, partners, and we would like to have a prolonged connection, and your cooperation and also your collaboration is solicited. Thank you so much.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Ramlata ma'am. And you correctly said this relationship between IEEE YESIST12 platform as well as with all these industrialist partners as well as academic partners need to be strong enough for the upcoming months, because we are going to execute YESIST12 finals in September, hopefully. And that will be a great, I would say, showcasing platform for all of pre-university student, undergrad, postdoctorate, postgrad students to come forward and share their ideas in a form of product and prototype, and take the opportunity to network with industrialists, which we have gathered through IEngage track. So thank you so much to all the partners. Moving on, now I would like to welcome our first keynote speech talk addressed by Dr. Sriram K. Vasudevan. He is an Intel IoT innovator, NVIDIA Just an Ambassador, and NASCOM Prime Ambassador, and one of my good friend in IEEE. We welcome you, Sriram. Over to you.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Ramnik, for the introduction. And Ramlata ma'am is one person whom I have been hearing about a lot every time, but I never got an opportunity to meet her. Now it's happening virtually, ma'am. I hope we will meet soon in person. I look forward to that.
Meet you, sir.
Thank
Welcome.
I see a lot of exciting faces out here. Sitting at home is a pain, I'm telling you. It's not so easy to sit at home and to do the work. And most of the time you work from home, and it's at times happening as work for home as well. You need to do the work for home, which is actually a great hindrance for people who want to continue working the way they want. So amidst all those, it's very glad to see these kind of happenings, these kind of interactions between industry and academia, as well as communities like IEEE. So I'm very happy and glad about it. So what I have done today is I was given an opportunity to choose the topic which can talk about the upskilling. Upskilling can happen for anybody and everybody. So I say this to everyone whom I'm mentoring or whom I'm working with. If you feel that you know everything, you are dead that day. You will never know everything on the whole. It's very difficult. So we can upskill ourselves every second. There is a lot of opportunity. That's one reason I keep participating in a lot of contests, hackathons, and multiple forums. I keep participating for a simple reason that I can learn from others, and it's mutual. Learning is going to be everlasting, and that's the only thing which will keep you happy. I'm telling you, the moment you start learning and if you cherish sharing the knowledge, you will keep doing it till there is an end. I believe that there will not be an end for it as well. Right. So having said that, today I'm going to make it very simple. The agenda is very clear and concise. I'm going to tell you what is the gap between regular academics, I mean, whatever you are doing in engineering or whatever course you are doing, against what we expect from industries. We are recruiting a lot of people. I'm handling a lot of internship students. And what is that one thing that I see which is missing? Or one thing or a couple of things maybe. How we can address it. That's the major part of discussion that I'm going to keep it. The first one that I would like to say is, if you are from a college which is not a tier 1 college, it's not your mistake. Don't worry about it. You can still speak out. This is one thing that I very strongly convey. I studied in a school where they teach English and Tamil. That's how it was. Everybody has to learn. There is no option. Come out, speak out. That's one thing that is missing. So please do not feel that you are lost. You are never lost. You can compete, and this is a world which will be very, very responsive for people who want to grow. If you feel that you can't, you will never be able to. There is a statement which you would have heard: "If you can't, Japan can't. If Japan can't, the world can't." So that says the story. You can do everything and anything. So remember that point. I'm not going to give you Gyan, by the way. I'm going to just tell you whatever I know, and I'll give you some excellent demos of whatever I have built. And second thing that I feel is the ability to come out and participate in contests. YESIST12 is conducting contests consistently, and last year I was also one of the jury members. I was so happy to see a lot of innovative products, but I felt that it can be furthermore participation. The participation is something that is missing. There are multiple hackathons, events that are being conducted every day. I'm telling you, if you start participating in hackathons, if you win one, it will become an addiction. It's a very positive addiction. You will find a lot of people to collaborate. You may get a job. You may start up a company. You may do anything that you want, provided you have the desire with you. So please come out and participate. This is one thing that I see as solid missing component in the youngsters who are doing their third year or final year engineering or any course for that matter. They should come out, participate. But sir, I don't have an idea. That's a common question that everybody says, that the common answer that everybody comes out with me. Sir, I don't have an idea. How do you generate all these ideas? See, I'll tell you something very clearly. Ideas are available just within you, within your family members, within the flat that you are living, within the society that you are living. That's it. All the ideas that I have won, for your information, I have participated around 125 hackathons till date as a finalist, which means I have applied for 250. I'm telling you only the number which I'm going for finals. So I have participated about 125 as finalist. I have won about 65. So 50% success rate in the finals. All the problem statements, whatever I have taken, is from you. I see people suffering. I see if it is a product available. If it is not available, I'll make it a product. I'll pitch it in a hackathon. I'll win it. Simple. So it is all easy. So please look out. You should keep your ears and eyes open and mouth shut. This is the simple policy that I follow. Talk less, listen more, see more. You will get problem statements. Then pitch it in the place where you can. This is how I feel it has to be done. So I'll tell you something very inspiring. From Coimbatore, way back in 2014, 2015, there were 3 children who were doing their bachelor's degree with me. I was a faculty mentor. There is a role of the faculty called as faculty mentor. I was working in university in Coimbatore then. We call it mentor or proctor, or there are so many roles, right? It's one of the most painful roles I ever feel to be done. But what happened was that was a very nice batch of students, so they taught me a lot of things. So what happened is there were 3 students who did not score well in that semester who were under me as a mentor. So I had to give them Gyan. I never liked Gyan because I normally feel that they should learn it by themselves. So what I did is I took them for a movie. I had the luxury of doing that. I took them to the Iron Man 2 or 3. I don't remember 2. I think Iron Man 2 I went. It was in Brookfields, Coimbatore. If Coimbatореans are there, they'll be able to recognize. We came out of the movie, and one of the students asked me, his name is Santosh, sir, can we do what Iron Man does? It is in 2013-14, remember. I asked him, sir, are you all right? I think I feel that you are not mentally fit enough to discuss all these things right now. Let's go have dinner. I'll get you good dinner, eat it, and go home safe. This is what I told them. He laughed at me. He had a great laugh. And those 3 children, they went back home. They did not go to their respective homes. Instead, they went to one place. They had whole night discussion about what has happened in the Iron Man. And they started thinking about virtual reality and augmented reality. Believe me, that was the first in India, probably for somebody at that level to think about augmented reality. Now it is a common term. By then it was not common. It was very uncommon. And people will laugh if you tell that you can interact with the virtual world real time. We faced a lot of criticism for proposing it. Even in our own university, people are telling you are doing chumma this, and what is that? This is how people responded. But that's called innovation. People will criticize. People should tell that that's wrong. Only then you can move further in it. If they say that this is very obvious, great, super, then you are doing wrong thing. So remember that. What happened, these kids came back the next day morning. They did not sleep. They told me that, sir, we can do that. It's called augmented reality and virtual reality. This guy Ant-Man is actually showing that as augmented reality, but it is graphical. It was suggested by somebody by name John Underkoffler, who was a world famous UX designer who designed the movies Minority Report and more things, and we should work on it. I then told them, see, it's very complicated. We do not have the kits and support by then. Now we have a lot of SDKs available. Unity has grown a lot. By then it was not so. It was about 15 days time that we discussed every day for 4-5 hours. Believe me, the end of the first month, we had our first project. Virtually, you'll have a paper, scan the QR code or barcode. You will have a piano in front of you. You can play piano and the sound will come only to you. You will only see the piano in front of you. This was the first project that we built. With this confidence, whatever we gained, we went to the next level, and there was a competition organized by Leap Motion Sensor. Leap is a very famous company in US. It's one of the most fastest and highly rated companies in US in San Francisco. They organized a contest called as Leap Accelerator 2014. Believe me, we nominated our idea of building the world's first augmented reality headset. We nominated. I was having 10% hope because what we project is something very futuristic, and they may not really appreciate people from, we are from Tamil Nadu, we are from interior South India, we may not have that much exposure. That's what I thought, but what happened is they selected us. We were the only team from entire Asia to be selected for the 2014 event, and surprisingly, they gave us $25,000 as the seed funding to reach US. I have never seen that much big money in my life till then. When the money came into my account, it was a mild heart attack also for me because it was huge money. The point is, when I landed in San Francisco along with this, because I had been to San Francisco and US a couple of times earlier, but this time it was more interesting as well as more things are waiting for us. So 2014, we do not know, like these children do not know much of communication skills also. What we have is a desire to do something great. That's all. And we have some excellent ideas. And what happened is it was a period of 6 months we had to stay there for the accelerator event. We stayed there. Every day night we used to come by the last train from San Francisco to the place where we stayed called Fremont. It was 11:30 every day night. We call the train as BART, Bay Area Railway Transport. We'll be the only 4 people in the train. Rest all would be 6.5 feet tall. And if they slap you, you will die. They need not even slap you. They just have to come to you and say, hi, that's all, I'm dead. So we are kind of like, we in India, 5.10 is a 5.10 is a good height. So I feel that I am a tall fellow, but on in front of them, I am never. So they feel like they are Undertaker height, and it was all a problem. Every day we had to suffer. But end of the day, we built the world's first augmented reality headset, and we were judged by the person who designed that in Iron Man movie, John Underkoffler. So he was the judge for the event. We never expected that. He offered free training for us, free mentoring for us. He owns an industry called as Oblong Industries. It's so famous. He owns a Boeing jet. So very rich person, so very busy person. He offered us free mentoring. We interacted with him and we built the first one. And now it's a startup. We are employing a lot of people as well. So that's the courage you need to have. You need to travel. You need to fight. We were 8 teams in Leap Accelerator, and at the end of the day, what happened is we got $1 lakh investment from venture capitalists, and we were $1.25 lakh funded company, which is 1 crore, close to 1 crore. We had nothing other than our dresses when we landed there with the seed money that they gave. But when we came back, it was almost close to 75-80 lakhs we had in our hand for growing the company, and we grew it. This is what I want you to have within you. You can try. So please do not feel that I do not have a backup. Nobody is here to back you up. You should back you up yourself. Nobody came and told me that go to San Francisco. Nobody told the children that think about Iron Man. Iron Man was a movie. If you take it as fun, it's fun. If you take it as thinking, if you take it as process for you to go next level, you can do that. So what I mean is look for opportunities, not outside within you, and place where you are staying. I'll tell you, there are many interesting patents which I come across because I work very closely for patenting. There are patents which are designed for this, which I'll tell you, you will laugh. When you drive 2-wheelers, insects will fall on your eyes. It's very common happening. There is a patent which can avoid that. Insect intrusion repellent. That's all. They add 2 ultrasonic sound sensors. It will generate noise, and that noise is not acceptable for the insects which are trying to intrude. That's a patent. So the bullet, how many of you have a Royal Enfield in India here? I do not know. It's one of the status symbols for people out here. If we say that there will not be any side stand offered for Royal Enfield, nobody will buy that here. Side stand is an innovation. The water sprinkler, whatever you have, we have seen that, right? There will be a bar in between. It will splash it properly like this when you do that. It's an innovation. Door stopper. Your innovation need not be rocket science. Please understand that. I always say this. Your innovation can be simpler, smaller, but it can change lives of so many. So that's what I want you to do. Now, having said that, how do you generate ideas? That's the first
Yeah,
question.
Shriram.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you. I guess Ramlata ma'am raised her hand.
Oh,
She
sorry.
need to add some points.
I didn't notice. Sorry, ma'am. Yeah, please, ma'am. Go ahead. Amrita, ma'am.
Ramlata ma'am, you are muted.
I'm sorry, I missed it.
No, it's totally fine. I mentioned in the chat window as well. Oh, I guess she need not to. She raised by mistake. Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt you,
No,
Shriram.
no,
Yeah,
no, no worries, no worries. Not a problem. Right. So what I'm going to do now is I have got a couple of things for you. One is the interest towards generating ideas. What kind of ideas can I generate? Sir, it's a very tough question to answer, sir. I'll make it simple. And there is something called as camper. I don't know how many of you know that. SCAMPER. I'll talk about it. Then I'll tell you how to participate in hackathons and how to win. That's it. I'll complete my talk and I'll take my dinner. This is the plan for the next 20 minutes, not more than that. And any questions if you have, I can take it up with pleasure. And I'll just share my presentation. Just give me 1 minute. I hope till now I'm not boring and it should be interesting, I believe. If you have any questions, you are free to ask. Please make sure that you type your questions if you have any in the chat box. And I can also provide you my email ID if you need any help in terms of how do we participate in hackathons and all those things. Certainly, I'll be very happy to assist you. I hope you are able to see my screen. Can you see the screen, Ramnik?
yeah, it's visible. Yeah, please.
Right. Ideas. Many people ask me, how do you get ideas for the products that you build, for the hackathons that you participate? All those questions will be answered in this session and why ideas are important. Without ideas, we never get any new products. Without ideas, there are no new innovations. You would not have got iPhone or you would not have had anything that you have in hand, which are all technological advancements, without somebody's idea coming into play. And most importantly, idea is very critical for all the innovations, for all the progress that we are making. So this session will discuss about how do we get ideas. The first point that I need to tell you, where is the idea born? There is no specific place that the idea borns from. So it can get a really birth when you are walking, when you are drinking, when you are playing, when you are sitting idle. So there is no specific place that you will get idea from. So this is one reason that some of the companies now they started keeping a very engaging workspace and they have changed the workplace, the atmosphere, everything has been changed so that more better ideas can come. You keep your environment very nice, you keep your atmosphere very engaging, very enriching, you will probably get good ideas. So there is no specific place that will definitely get you good ideas and it can be getting birth at any place. Right, let's get into the rules. Rule 1. The first point, focus on something which is really needed. Well, when there is an idea, it should always be towards solving problem for the people. There are many problems that are surrounding us, and you need to pick up one of those problems and build a solution, build your idea towards bringing up the solution for that particular problem. It may not be rocket science, but the problems that you're going to solve should be really very important. Please understand and observe immensely and find out a problem which is troubling people for a long time, and that could be your business value. That could be your hackathon idea. So you need not search around for problem statements, for ideas in papers that are already published or in articles that are already available. Instead, you can start looking around to get the ideas. It should be towards solving problems for the people. Which is really needed is what is most important. You need to really solve problems which are needed. That should be your idea. So pick the one which is really needed. That's the first rule. Second rule, do not schedule. Please do not schedule idea generation time. I will sit today from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. to generate ideas. This won't work. Please break out. These kind of rules or stringent guidelines towards generating ideas will never work. You could get an amazing idea when you are about to take a nap. So please understand you cannot have a schedule. Keep it in back of your mind. Keep thinking about that and it could come to you anytime. So do not schedule idea generation time. Observe. This is most important point. Observe deeper. You got an idea, you got a small point, observe, talk more about it, speak more about it to your friends, write about it, make sure that you get it more into yourself and then the idea will further be curated. Do not keep that same point and keep clinging on to it. Develop it further. Talk about it to people. Help yourself by discussing that particular point to people who can give you real good inputs about it. So it's more like you are going to discuss that with people, open up, be social. This is the third rule, which is very, very important, because only then you will get to know what you are thinking or what you want is right or not good. Rule 4, capture. This is very, very, very important. I always would like to tell you this, keep something like Google Keep or notes or something like that, because you never know when you get an amazing idea. When you get an idea, please make a note of it. Many ideas are missed because we don't make a note of it. For a good person who wants to really build a lot of things, for a scheduled person who wants to build a lot of things, please make a note of ideas whenever you get it. It could be very silly, it might not be really great, but make a note. It could really be helpful for you at some later point. You keep a tool like Google Keep, as I told you, which will be really helpful for you to make a note of your ideas and don't miss it. This is a very important rule that all the successful persons have followed. Rule 5, brainstorm. This is a very important point when it comes to the ideas getting bettermented. Well, I have a team of people who all have some amount of idea about what I'm gonna do. We'll sit together and we'll start discussing the single point that I have got as my idea. This will be like a brainstorming activity where varieties of vast array of ideas will come in on the same line. Please understand, I have got an idea. People will start thinking in the same line and they will throw their light on that particular idea and we'll have to find the best solution out of it. We have a lot of rules that you need to follow when you go for brainstorming session. Please understand, brainstorming cannot go forever. You should have a stringent time guidelines and keep it for 1 hour, 1.5 hours, 2 hours, something like that. Second, stay focused. This is your problem statement. This is what I'm going to brainstorm on. For example, I'm going to build a solution for easier navigation checks. That's it. Stay there. Do not go left or right. Stay right there and discuss that point. Stay focused. Please do not judge or criticize anybody's inputs. Brainstorming sessions are not meant for criticizing or showing your skills. They are meant to collect as many inputs as you can and pick the best out of that and to form a real meaningful stuff. Please do not judge. Please do not criticize. Allow more ideas to evolve. Allow anybody to speak over there which are in line with the thought process of your the dot point, the point that you have already given, the idea that you have given should be further evolved. So for that, everybody should think and everybody should speak. So allow them to speak, allow more ideas to evolve and make it visual. If you have a presentation or if you can draw something and explain, that's going to be better because it reaches people faster. And most important point, don't make it a very clumsy discussion. Make it one at a point. One person should talk at a point and you should be a moderator probably to allow them speak, but all of them should be in a very organized way. Only one speaker or only one person should speak at a time so that you will not miss the points. Conclude. And most important point is you need to conclude everything properly and derive all the points that people have given you, all the views have given you, and then from that you will have to take one point out of it. If you are not satisfied with the solutions that you have received, brainstorm again. The loop has to be repeated. So brainstorming is nothing but a discussion with a set of people who are almost like-minded, who can give a lot of inputs, and from those inputs you can pick up the best of the points for you to curate your idea in the final way. This is the most important set of rules that people normally follow towards brainstorming. And at times the brainstorming really goes like a fight or goes like a real nasty discussion where they keep showing off that they are skillful. No, that should not happen there. It should be like you should allow everybody to talk and you should pick the best out of it. It's absolutely team effort, and remember that. Rule 6, variance and devil's advocate. What is it? For the same problem, for one idea or one problem that you are trying to solve, you must be having multiple solutions. Pick all them in the table. You need to analyze all of them and you need to really find out which solution could be the best solution for it. This is called variant. I have got multiple variants available for the same problem. Only when you think about the variants, you will be able to get the best of the solution. So make sure that you get this in the table, and that is very, very important. And please have somebody as devil's advocate. There cannot be always people saying that, wow, amazing idea. You need to always have somebody telling you that this is right, this is wrong, how will this work? That is called devil's advocate. There should be somebody who is playing the role of checkpoint analyzing every time. They should analyze, they should ask questions. The questions are really to be meaningful, and the devil's advocate is going to be the real bright role in the entire team. And make sure you have somebody who is really sensible and who can play this role. Right. Thanks. So it's time that you think about your idea now. So that's how I can tell you quickly. The next one is something called as camper. I hope you like the discussion that I quickly made as how do we generate ideas, what are the steps in that. And one thing I'd like to tell you before I go on to Scamper, it is like anybody can come with an idea, so don't disqualify any ideas before you know its value. After discussion, you can say that this is not a great idea, you can curate it further. So don't disqualify it right away, and we do not have any right to do that. And importantly, it's a team which has to win, not an individual. So wherever you go, whichever product you build, inculcate the culture of building team, because when you come to the industry, it's always team. Individual contributors are there, but if you see Virat Kohli, he needs a team to win. If his team doesn't perform, he will not win. Tendulkar was so successful as an individual, but he was never successful as a captain because his team didn't win. So it is standing even now today as who is the best captain? If you ask, it is MSD. The reason? Team player. Simple. So be a team player. Our individual weights and individual priorities should be taken to the back seat, and the team's effort and the team's glory should come to the front seat always. Only then you can win. Otherwise, you will be a viewer. You'll keep viewing that other teams winning, and I don't want that to happen. Now, I have a terrific cold, so don't mind my in between noises I raise because of the cold. So forgive me for that. Now I'm going to talk about the scamper, which is a very important thing. What is scamper? It's a very commonly used commonly used methodology that I can say for generating ideas and to get your ideas better. Some of the points could concur with whatever I have conveyed you earlier, but never mind. It's good to learn and good to understand. With this camper, I'll let you ask questions if you have any, and I can also give you the sources for participating in hackathons and all those things, and there it will end. I believe I'm audible and clear.
Yeah, Sriram. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Whenever you have an idea in hand, and if you want to curate it better, people normally follow Scamper. What is Scamper, sir? Scamper is a combination of substitute, combine, adapt, modify, put to another use, eliminate, and reverse techniques. We are going to learn all these, which will help you in bettermenting your ideas. It will improve your creativity, it will enhance your ideas, and for sure, this is going to give you better results. We'll take an example, we'll go step by step in each of these, and I'll let you know how exactly things work. Now let's take some product or service that you want to improve. Let's apply Scamper to it. You will see the results, and the results would be really encouraging. Let's get into yes in Scamper. What is yes? Yes is nothing but substitute. What resources can be substituted? What materials can be substituted? What other processes can be used? Can you substitute some rules? Can you move this person out of the team and bring somebody in? All these are called substitution aspects. I can analyze what all can be substituted with something else, and that's called yes in Scamper. And I can give you a simple example. Can we substitute a 5-gear system with a 4-gear system? Can we substitute sensor A with B? Can we substitute algorithm A with B? All these could improve efficiency or give better results. That's called substitution. So whenever you have an idea, you should always think about what all can be substituting. I'll give you a simple example from cricket. Can I substitute Shubham Gill with Prithvi Shaw? Will it give me better results? That's it. That's called substitution. So the yes in Scamper is all about substituting. C, combine. What is it? Can we combine this product with another? Can we combine this product with another in such a way that we get a new product out? Can we combine the purposes? Can we combine the objectives? Can we combine and use the resources? What all can be combined to make the system give better results? All these are the views that you need to look into when you think about C, which is nothing but combine. How about combining the solar with electric bike? This is the question that you can ask yourself if you are building a product that line. How about combining computer science with electronics? That would be nice. So the combination is to be thought of whenever you have an idea. So the S is for substitute, C is for combination. A, what is A? Adapt. What is it? Well, what else is your product like? This is a very important question. What else is your product like? And what else your product can do? That is, do we have any other purpose for the product? I have a product. Can I do something else also with the product? That's a very important question that you need to ask yourself. So if so, you've got a chance there as well. What other context can the product be used? Can we have a wing in the scooter? Just a funny thing. Can we have a wing for the scooter? That's the way you need to think. That's the way creatively you need to think. This adapt will let you think about what are the other possibilities for your product. I have product A, it can do some things. What other purposes can it meet? I have already designed an algorithm, it does something. Can it also do something? So we need to understand that the A is very important, and A is called adapt. S is for substitute, C is for combine, and A is for adapt. Now, modify. M is for modify. How do you change the color? Can you change the shape of the product? How good it would be to change the feel of the product? What would you add to modify the system towards adding value? Can we make the system big? Can we make the system small? All these are the questions that one should ask towards looking into the aspect of EM, which is nothing but modification. All these should be asked because you could improve your product, betterment your product, or get your product to the next level. So this is all very important. Whenever you create an idea, whenever you are building an idea, think about the aspect of modification also, so that it can open the doors for bettermenting the product. A simple example could be adding mobile charging unit in the bike is an innovation. I modify it slightly. Providing an adjustable last row in the car. I have a car, the last row should be adjustable. It's a small modification that I have to do so that I can take freight or load along with me. That's it. It's the simplest way you can think. Now, P. What is P? P is nothing but put to other users. Right. Scamper, we have seen SCAM. P is what is now we are seeing. P is nothing but put to other use. Can this product be used in other industry? Think about it. I am building a product. Can this be used in other industry? Can someone else use this product? I have designed a product. Can someone else also deploy this product and use? What other purposes can the product serve in the current state? Remember it. What other purposes in the current state it can serve? Can we use fire alarm and design for household in the industry? That's the simplest way I can ask you a question. I have designed a fire alarm, but I designed it for household. Can I use it also for industry? Can I use it for a theater? Like that, I need to think. This is called P, which is nothing but put to other use. E, eliminate. What is eliminate? How could you simplify the product? What features, parts, or rules which are unnecessary, which are found to be additional stuff can be eliminated? How could you make it smaller, faster, lighter, or more fun by eliminating the unnecessary stuff? What will happen if you take away some part of the product or some parts of the product? You need to think about it. So you have got a product, you have designed it. You need to now identify, is there something in addition which is an add-on to it, which will not make any value to it. So we need to identify those. So eliminate the things which are really not required. And this aspect of thinking is very important because it is going to cut the cost. It is going to improve the product. It is going to reduce the weight. I mean the form factor. Everything will be bettermented through this approach of elimination. But you should not eliminate the core content. What is R? R is nothing but reverse. What would happen if you reverse the process? You should ask yourself the question. You have been following a process to build the product, to build the idea further. You can also ask yourself a question. What if I reverse it? There could be some great things which could born, which could get birth when you reverse things. What if you try the exact opposite things against what you have done? You need to think about it. What components could you substitute or change in order? I mean, what are all the components that you can really change? I have got a lot of components. I have got real set of components available. I need to change. What could be changed? You need to think about it. I have got ABC. Can I replace it with the DEF? What will happen? What roles can we swap? I have got multiple roles for each and every components, maybe for resources. Can I swap roles to see if they will give me better results? And the most importantly, how do you reorganize this product? I want to reorganize. What are all the options that I will have in order to reorganize it? So all these are very important. So essentially, what is Scamper? Scamper is nothing but substitute, combine, adapt, modify, put to another use, eliminate, and reverse. This, I hope you understood what exactly is Scamper and how things work with Scamper. Now, having told that, it's time for you to tell the importance of hackathons. Please participate in hackathons. YESIST12 itself is organizing events where you can participate and where you can come out. Getting rewarded or getting awarded or going to finals may not happen immediately, but participation is something that I want all of you to give a try. I'll tell you something very inspiring. I wanted to write book when I was in 2008. So I tried reaching out publishers. 17 publishers I reached, and all the 17 publishers rejected my book proposal. Now I have books with all the 17 publishers who rejected me. It was failure, but never leave it. I mean, it will look like it might not be possible, but it will be possible with your perseverance. So please participate, use the opportunities and explore. And there is a strong myth that is running around. Hackathon is internship. Internship is connected to hackathon. No connect. If you win a hackathon, you may get an internship opportunity. So both are different. So please look into that aspect. Hackathons is for building something very innovative in a short duration of time, which the company organizing it wants. It's the need of the company which you need to work on, and you need to provide results. That's how it works like. But internship is a long duration stuff which will be for minimum 3 months to 6 months, and it will be prolonged where your learning is more of importance. In this hackathons, you should provide something very useful for the company so that they can take it out from there. So understand the difference. Overall, I believe that I've given some inputs which could be definitely useful for you. In case you have any questions, any suggestions, please write me an email. I'll be very happy to answer those questions. And I'd like to thank again all the organizers for giving me this opportunity. And thank you, Ramlata ma'am, for pulling us into this great event. I wish the event great success, and I wish all the participants good luck. And thank you very much. There it ends. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Shriram. It's really a great, insightful session, and everything I wrote a book on idea to product, but the sense of understanding which I got personally from your session was really commendable,
Thank you.
and I believe all the participants also got that wonderful insights how they can find a problem around themselves itself rather than just shooting out Google, Microsoft, or something on like internet. Rather than that, you can just have a round. Like I remember my second year, I was just traveling from New Delhi to my own hometown. That was my examination, and I was waiting for 2 hours in the long queue in the bus stand, only for 40 rupees ticket, paper ticket. And when I reached home around 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, I just imagined why not? I had that knowledge about cloud computing. I had that knowledge about IoT. Why not we can deploy a fingerprint sensor on the ticket counter and we can connect the UPI right away for the transaction and a digital ticket, and that's all. So I would like to give this point to everyone, all the students on the call, that it's not important is your idea so much applicable to the society or not. It's important how you're going to articulate it to in that
Sure.
way that it becomes so applicable. And with that, we have few questions in the chat window.
Please.
Gaurav is asking, what's the difference between substitute and reverse?
Substitute will give you equivalent options. For example, I have Saurav. I can substitute him with somebody who is a left-hander who is equivalent to him. But reversing is something like, can I send Venkatesh Prasad through open first? You understand? Venkatesh Prasad is a bowler who comes last. So reversing the process, changing something here and there, substituting is complete replacement. That's the difference. I'm a cricket fan, avid cricket follower, so examples will come with cricket, don't mind.
Perfect. Yeah. I hope Gaurav that answers your query.
Gaurav may not know Venkatesh Prasad if he is very young. It's 80s kids bowlers, so probably he should be in 20K kids. I think I don't know if he was. Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. Anyone else? We have 7 minutes in hand, so feel free to. Okay. Can you say which one is better, finding a team or making a team? Wow, that's a great question from
That's a
Ashish.
fantabulous question. Making a team. You should build a team which is convincing for you, which is technologically stronger for you, which comes in hand with you, because finding a team may not. I mean, if you want to find some team where you can go and join, it may not work out. They may not accept you. If you make a team, you can make it the way you want, but at the same time you can make it with all the things that you want. So I always make my team. That works. For an instance, one thing that we all do as a mistake is we all sit in the same bench, so the bench will be the team most of the cases. In engineering college, if you see, my bench will be my teammate. So that should not be the case. I have very good friends. Okay, they can come with you for a movie, not for a hackathon. Only when they have the talent, the skill set that you want to pursue your challenge, they can become your teammate. So you can make your team with your choice, and importantly, you can make it in a very dynamic way. So I believe making a team is better over finding a team. Finding a team, they may already have 4 members and they may keep you as a substitute, and they will not want to change the existing setup because it's ceremoniously seen for the past 7-8 years. I'm participating in a lot of hackathons, right? The same team will continue. My team name is U team. I have not even changed the uppercase U to lowercase u. It will stay solid. So it's like you may not get respect there. So make a team and grow the team. That's better. It should be like MST, build a team.
Yeah, perfectly said. Yeah, I also believe on making a team because that once you find proper thing, like see, IEEE as a platform gives you that courage, that gives you that platform, so that you can connect with anyone. I still remember it was my first year, and I was in my section congress, and there was 4 guys among me. Those were final year students, and right now they are doing some PhD from somewhere, and the one guy was from Delhi, one guy was from US, one guy was from Singapore. That was their diversity in the team. And IEEE gives you that platform. And I've shared the link as well in the chat window. If you are an IEEE member or non-IEEE member, you can create your account on IEEE Collaboratek and feel free to network with anyone. So, okay, we
There
have
is
one other
one other
question.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever had a fear when the idea fails?
I never fear for telling out my ideas. If I had fear, I would not have participated. I never have. One thing I feel is um, if I don't tell it outside, it will not even come out. So I'll always tell you that speak out, nothing wrong. Even for personal life, if you feel we have children, we have wife, we have parents. If you speak out, most of the problems will be solved. If you have a fear of, oh, if I tell this, what will my wife think? She may not even think anything about it. So don't worry, go out and speak. That's better. So participating is most important, and being outspoken is important in terms of revealing ideas and to build a team. It may fail, and in fact, it should fail a couple of times. Only then you will get the crux of how do you win it. And I'll tell you something. I was participating in a hackathon conducted by Tata Vistara Aviation. So that was India's first aviation hackathon. We were around 30 teams into finals, and we made it to top 15, top 5. We were into the final presentation, and the prize money was so huge, and they gave us an open ticket to travel from anywhere to anywhere where Vistara was flying. So I was more than happy that we can fly the way that we want. So what I did is we did a presentation, and then we wanted to show the demo on the stage. And every demo fails when it has to perform correctly. So if you recollect your college days, probably you will agree to this point. When we want the demo to be shown, it will fail. It failed. In the stage, it failed. But I was very happy that I could reach till that level. I learned that I should never demonstrate things on stage, and I should make a video. Make a demo video, keep it ready, and if these guys ask you for a demo later, you call them to your table and show them the demo where you'll have peace of mind, patience, and time. That's the learning. Even if you fail, you will learn. After that, I never failed in hackathons where I reached finals. That's the story. So don't have fear. I mean, it's useless, and we have to live, and we have to live differently. We have to win. So for that, you have to be fearless. Play fearless game. I like Sevak for that. He will not care if it is 94 or 194 or if it is 294. Wherever it comes, he'll hit a 6 and he'll make it 100, 200, and 300. It was against Pakistan, by the way, in Multan. He was called Sultan of Multan because of the test. That's what I want. Be fearless. What is the best hackathon you have won, and what is the worst hackathon? There is nothing called as worst here. I will not call anything as worst because I learn a lot. The best hackathon is Hack Harvard. I never believed in my life that I'll reach Harvard University because it's so big a hackathon, so big a university. The university itself was like 25, 30 miles. And here, what we see as universities, maybe maximum, it will be 500, 400 acres, even the biggest of the universities. We were like shell shocked that we were selected for the first round. Then we cleared second, third, and fourth. Fifth round, we were invited to the US, and we went by 2019. We were representing India. We were the winners. So that's the best experience I have ever had because we were judged by the people from Google, Harvard University, Harvard School of Business, and so many. We won that. That's the best of the experience because participating in national level is easier because you get to see your kind of people. But participating in international level takes you to the different level. Altogether, you have to be very, very competitive. And most importantly, the way we pronounce things is different from the way they want to listen. They were all challenging for us, but we cracked it and we were the first. That was the best hackathon experience. Worst, I will not rate anything as worst. They all have given me a lot of memories and a lot of trophies. So I won't. And t-shirts, most importantly. All the t-shirts that I use for my walking and badminton play or cricket play is all hackathon t-shirts. So I won't say anything is bad. Yeah, I hope I answered your question.
Perfect. Thanks for that, Shriram. And it's a great proactiveness, I guess. See, like a lot of great participants are active on the chat window. And feel free, like, if you have any further question, like, we are already out of the time, but we can take the last one if there's anyone. want to jump in. And there's a surprise. Shriram, I would like to request you, like before, like once we end the QA session after one question, just let me know few names of the students to whom we can give a best participant award, because that's one of the great thing we have put into our event, so that people can be active and they can get some
Sure,
goodies, virtual goodies out of it. Okay,
sure.
we have one question from Vikram. Vikram, how to find our interest?
You will be excited. I mean, when you see something, see, I'll tell you this way. I have pav bhaji, I have masala puri, I have pani puri. On seeing something, all the three I like, but which one will you touch first? Which one will excite you first? That's your interest. Whatever directs you to work more on it. If I want to do that, I will do that without stoppage. That's my interest. Interest is something which will excite you, which will not let you sleep. I always like this quote from Abdul Kalam. Dream is not something which will let you sleep and get that in your sleep. Dream is something which will not let you sleep until you complete the task. So that should be your dream. That will be connected to your dream. That should be your happiness. Only then you will find it as a real good stuff. I feel that interest will be obviously visible in front of you. When you find something that's good for you, you will definitely be interested. You need not worry much. I have three things. Which one do I choose? You need not bother. You will automatically choose the best one. Your brains are working that way. Your brains are good.
That's yeah, that's right. And I would like to add on that point on the hackathon and the internship. Like, see, guys, you all are in your BTech or bachelor's or maybe postgraduate. You're doing masters. The main important thing, the difference which I have seen from my undergraduation since 2019 and when I graduated, the difference between three things is very much important for you to understand: hackathon, internship, and researching. Because when we have lack of people sitting in the auditorium for a placement drive, or when you are starting your own organization, these three main thing makes you different. I remember my interview at Amazon. Right now, I'm working in AWS, and I remember when I was interviewed in Fab, they were saying like, "Oh my goodness, you have 12 research papers so far and one patent already." And I'm like, "That's me. That's how I consume my BTech properly. I wrote one research paper every semester, and that's my aim." That's the thing. That's the thing. How you need to upskill yourself, upskill your profile right away, so that your profile speaks rather than you speaks in front of interviewer. And you will be shocked enough when he was asking me this question. Ramnik, have you faced any scenario where you have converted a pen and paper technology, conventional method to a digitalization? I was just going to speak, hey, I did that project in All India Radio New Delhi. He was just right away replying back, oh, I was aware that you're going to talk about this. This is how the interview should be, right? So try to engage. And what Sriram mentioned about the participation, that's my favorite abbreviation, PVN model: participation, volunteering, and networking. Feel free to use it openly. No one gonna stop you. Within India, outside India, anyhow. And that's what we are here for in IEEE network. So with that, I would like to deeply thank on behalf of YESIST12 to you, Sriram. Thank you so much for taking out your time during
My
this
pleasure.
bad health of yours as well. But yeah, we hope, we wish that cup will go away. It's climate change which is actually
Uh,
impacting us all
well,
over
the
all over the India.
entire country is coughing. So Dolo 650 will do, I believe. So we can get
Yeah,
out of it. Yeah. Yeah.
perfect then. So I would like to invite the co-chair of IEngage track for presenting thanks, vote of thanks. Rushali, over to you.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you. It was really encouraging and it was engaging session actually. We were like, I believe that all the part students, they must be listening to you and they would have not missed even a single point. Like it was not at all like out of the track. Or each and every point which you said, no, it was really like we did not want to skip anything. Like, oh, I have to understand each and every point. And I'm sure that all the students were real, now they have gained the confidence in themselves. Yes, they can do it. They can make the product out of the idea. It's for sure. And this YESIST will be a best platform for them to choose it. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. It was really wonderful.
Thank you,
I
Rushali.
would like give the on behalf of this. I did not give you the token, sir.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll take it up happily. Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah. So thank you for your presence here, and I would like to give the token to you, sir. Thank
Accepted.
you. Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Sriram. Yeah, do you have something?
Yeah, stay safe, everybody. Most important thing, wear mask, and please be careful for next few days. We are expecting a very big numbers from India in terms of the COVID surge. Jokes apart, please wear mask and stay away from crowd. Next few days are going to be really important for all of us. We see that there is a definite increase in the surge, so staying safe is the only option. All the best, do well, and love you all. Thank you.
Perfect. Before going, Shriram, we need your presence in the group pic as well. So I request everyone to come on camera. And Shriram, you can let me know the student's name from the chat window who ask great questions and
Can I tell
showcase
you
them.
right away? Can I tell you right away
Yeah,
here?
go ahead. Yeah.
I like the question from Ashish Sharma. Making a
Okay.
team, finding a team. I was interested in the question. So that question I like very much.
Perfect. Ashish, congratulations, you are selected for Best Participant Award. We're gonna we're gonna shoot out your badge and virtual goodies after the event tomorrow. Yeah, perfect. So I would like to invite everyone, please come on camera. I hope now you are comfortable. Since the inauguration ceremony is done, the keynote address is done. We're gonna have two events, two talks tomorrow as well. It's gonna be a great ups and down for upskilling to get yourself ready for industry. So feel free to come on camera quickly. Let's see.
Whoever comes on
Chaitanya is
camera will
here.
get a chocolate.
Oh yeah, virtual chocolate.
Yeah.
Perfect. Come on. Let's see. The same thing if I ask a 7th grade student, pre-university student from school, they're gonna come in second. And you are graduates. Come on. You are more mature uh, than them. Please join us. It's a great moment because we are going to publish this recording on IEEE TV platform. That's our own IEEE proud platform where we post our recordings and post our event posting, as well as we're gonna report this event in other newsletters as well. So feel free to become the part of this historical event. Next event from IEngage will be near to, I would say, September 2022. This day and tomorrow we're going to host a keynote address by blockchain on blockchain, specifically from a blockchain startup of India who is using blockchain in agriculture by World Organization. And then we will have a wonderful IEngage panel discussion that will be more insightful for all of you to get prepared for industry. And don't leave the WhatsApp group. We're going to have few surprises there. And this is not kind of one event we are organizing. This is the whole phase, 1, 2, 3. Second event near to September, third event near to November 2022. So don't leave the group. Enjoy networking there. We will open the group for all of you to interact together. Perfect. I can see a couple of people coming up. So let's take a group pic on the count of 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone, to join us today in the inauguration ceremony as well as keynote address. Thank you so much to our guest, Louis, sir, as well as Dr. Shriram, for joining us. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care.